Okay, so this next test we're going to go through is a forward excursion test. So this is a dynamic functional test for ankle dorsiflexion. So Glenn, what would you do for this one? How would we look at the forward excursion test?
So what we do, we need a starting point. Okay, so we've got on my clinic floor here, we've got a line there that we can use as our starting point. And I'm going to get Patrick to start with his left big toe up on that line, and he's going to reach his right foot as far forward as he can possibly go. Really important here that first of all he doesn't lift his heel, so his heel stays planted on the floor. Secondly, that he doesn't plant his weight down on the floor and then slide his foot forwards. So it's just as far as he can reach without putting his weight down. I'll let him have a few goes at that, and then I'm going to take the best of 3 attempts. Okay, so if we say that's 1, let's go again. 2, so a little bit further and 1 more time. There we go, and then I'm just going to mark that point on the floor. And then what we can do, same on the other side. Straight away we can see there's a discrepancy there. And then if we do a few more times, okay, 1 more time. Okay, and we mark that there on the floor as well. What I do then, I can then take my tape and I can measure that and I can see what the difference is between the two. This is part of the STAR excursion balance test as well. Obviously with the STAR excursion balance test you're going different directions as well. We may do that in a separate video. But this is really useful because the forward excursion part of that test has been linked with increased injury risk in the lower limb. So if one side is 4 centimetres or greater difference in length, then it has an increased injury risk. So it's quite a nice screening test as well as a good dynamic mobility test of the calf and the ankle dorsiflexion range.
Yeah, and I think it's important with this sort of stuff as well. Like a lot of our tests, it can be used as an exercise. You can use that as a strengthening or strength mobility exercise to actually improve that. And I think that one, again, because it's functional, because it's weight bearing, I really like it for ankle and knee pain. And I think that just like the step down test and all those other tests, or some of the other tests, I think the test becomes the exercise if you find that discrepancy that's there.
I think the other really important point about these kind of tests is you can't assume someone's got good dynamic mobility just if they test well with static mobility markers. So you might have a knee to wall test that's pretty good, and then when you look at it dynamically with this forward excursion test, it's completely different. So don't make assumptions that dynamic mobility is linked with static.
And I think the other thing to mention as well is that when you're doing that dynamic mobility test, one thing you could say is if they've tested well on the knee to wall test, and you're looking at it from an ankle perspective, then you know that the ankle mobility is not the issue. It's more the dynamic control that's the issue, and that again, that could be from the foot, it could well be from the hip as well. But you at least you have an idea that okay, it's not the mobility because I've tested that and that was fine, but now it's not good in a dynamic situation, so therefore it's more likely to be motor control or dynamic. If you haven't done the knee to wall test, then you can't say it might be a static or a structural problem around the ankle as well. So I think when you do the combined, you get more information about what's causing that. Basically.